Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Creative Spirits podcast with the ever so delightful Sherry from the Creative Mermaids and me, Kate from Gumboots by the Sea. And together we do make the Creative Spirits podcast, and it is a mighty fun, often windy, very truthful space for you to come and join us as we rise and connect and celebrate. And we're starting tonight's episode from the season Root to Rise with an amazing poem from this amazing author, Kate Darnell. Kate Darnell, see, tooting our own horn, I listened to this week's episode that went out this week. Permission slipped to shine, guys. Anyway, Kate Darnell wrote this amazing poem, From Poems to a Wild Gypsy Spirit, and it came to me tonight, and I was reminded of the power and the simplicity of the words, but more so the message. So Sherry is here. She's currently on mute behind the wind, so I can open with this, and then she's just going to dive in and share some Sherry wisdom. So here we go. When you realize no one actually said no, you get to own it. See, feel, know that you are living, that you are awake. Yay! I love that poem so much. Go, Sherry.
And me too. I'm back with the howl of the wind. I'm just like, oh.
Wild. It's
because
wild energy.
Actually, I also, yeah. Exactly. It's like, ah. And I shared actually earlier this week on from someone else, but it was basically that the day that women learn that we don't need to claim the power, that we always had it, and the world told us we didn't, is the day we truly step in our power. And I can't even tell you how many people private message me over that saying I needed to read that today. And when I hear that poem, that's the exact same thing that kind of pops up. This whole thing of the power has always been there, and we've just been told we don't have it. And you know what, truthfully, I wrote one of the women back, and I was like, I do it to my daughter sometimes. I don't want to do it. I do not want to quash her spirit. But sometimes a silent, obedient daughter is much easier than the daughter. The energy I want her to have when she's 19 is very difficult as a mother to deal with at 6. And
see,
so sometimes
that wounded challenge in itself. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Ouch.
Yeah, because you're like, be quiet, sit down, stop talking to me, you know. And this is the kind of thing. Look at me and listen to me, and I deserve it. If you're not going to listen, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. I mean, of course I do. I want that for her later, but dealing with it as a mother right now. And so I think this is something that we all can appreciate, that it's not us. It's we've been raised this way, of course, because it's much easier to deal with a quiet, silent, easy child. And then all of a sudden at 19 or 20, we're told, oh yeah, you should get that back now. But you've just spent 20 years crushing it. You know? And I think I'm an aware mother who's trying her best not to do it. You know what I mean? Like, there's times when I'm actually stopping and going, oh, I'm doing it again. And of course, there's that line too between, you know, like I always tell MJ, disrespect is something completely different.
Yep. Yeah, it's like
owning your power. You know, you don't get to disrespect people, but you can own your power without disrespecting people. Because I know I run up and take someone's ice cream, and then the mom's like, well, you know, he's just being who he is. No, that's not being who he is. That's being very disrespectful and mean. When my son tries to do something like that, I stop him. You know, I tell him, you respect bodies. You know, you're not just a boy. Exactly. You respect boundaries. When someone says no, you have to listen to them. There's no such thing. But you also get to be who you are within a respectful, healthy boundary. But it's very difficult sometimes to know that line. It's much easier just to say, stop it, don't do that, be quiet, listen to me, you know. It's a challenge, both as a human being and that way.
Definitely. I think that's really that's so interesting, because of the whole point. Well, Poems to a Wild Gypsy Spirit was written, like, dedicated to Eden and Lucy as I was starting to rise and lose that need to people please. And I remember having a conversation with Eden about, you don't have to wear something because someone brought it for you. Like, you don't have to wear, like, look, I'm wearing the pretty dress. And then I remember her turning around and going, but I like doing that. And I'm like, oh, well, that's okay then, but you don't need to. And then almost like there's got to be that fine line of like letting them do what they like, but always also saying, oh, you don't need. Yeah, let's just face it, it's a catastrophe. Parenting and motherhood is a big, challenging, messy, lovely bundle of all sorts. But all we can do is have that awareness, have that be in that realm of love and kindness. I'm always saying to Eden, no one is better than you. You are no better than anyone else, but you have to meet that challenge with kindness. Like, meet the challenge with kindness. And it's such an appropriate message for all of us to meet challenges with love and kindness. And it's something we don't, adults don't really do it all that well. We tend to meet challenges with drama.
Exactly. And especially your own.
Yes, especially our own. It's like, oh, that's too hard. Let's just sabotage that. Let's say that we're not good enough. Let's say that that's someone else's time. I don't have to have this, feel this way, or I'm not worthy of that success. So poo-poo to life. Not fair.
Yeah,
no one actually.
Again, exactly. And going back to root to rise, we have to look at our own childhood and realize our parents did their best, but of course they passed on limitations and blocks, and some of it was because it's just easier than the loud child. And now all of a sudden in the 20s and 30s you're trying to get this back and wondering why it's so hard for it to come back. It's because it's been squashed. And again, instead of being angry with your parents or angry with yourself, it's about kindness and acceptance. Okay, this is what happened. That just means this is the challenge I have, and this is where I need to grow through this. And that's okay. And life was never supposed to be, one giant, rosy, happy place. We're here to grow. We're here to experience. And if we don't have difficulties, we don't get to grow and we don't get to experience. So I think the important part is to be like, okay, this is mine. Own it and work through it. And that's what that poem brought out to me too, was the reminder that, yeah, we've all got so much crap and we have to own it and work through it.
Sherry, this is the next bit that you don't know about. That poem is from the section called Healing. And when we tried to record a couple of nights ago, but Mercury in retrograde, we couldn't record, internet wasn't cooperating. We're like, oh well, divine timing, it will be
at all.
Then I was like, okay, just making a note that I want to talk about healing. Don't even need to make a note, because we open with a poem that was very, very spirit-led, and then you bring it back to rooting to rise, to owning the shit, owning the murk, grounding in it, owning your power, your truth. And that's the true essence of healing, which is happening every day, whether you're aware of it or not. Triggers are coming up and you're choosing to accept, step in, or bottle, close down. And like, even people in their most, maybe not enlightened is the right word, but even people in their most, healthiest flow or super aligned, they're not growing, they're not living if things aren't coming up, or if little triggers aren't peeping through, because we're human beings, and we're not living on the top of a mountain in pure enlightenment. We've chosen to be placed in various settings that can often be challenging. But how do you choose to take that on as a part of your healing as well, and accept that you're exactly where you need to be, and this is exactly the time and the place that you need to really root to rise, regardless. And can we aim
you
for
shared this
true?
Cartoon last.
Yeah. What was it?
This cartoon? Remember you shared with the at the beginning of the journey. At the beginning of the journey, you blame everyone. Halfway through the journey, you blame yourself. And at the end of the journey, you don't blame anyone.
Yeah.
I love that. That was.
Yeah. Yeah. And
yeah, I love
it's I think to enter that, it's not impossible to be in that space of pure enlightenment, actually, really, when we awake to the state of love and kindness. And when we awake to, we're perfectly imperfect and there is no such thing of anything external if you can't come into soul center, into heart space, and love you unconditionally now. So much clarity tonight. It must have been the yoga.
You know, we talked a lot beforehand.
We did.
Too.
We did have a really good 40-minute pre-chat. That could be the case. Definitely. Yeah, definitely. So do we blurt it out now or save it for an interlude, or just give a little teaser about my reference to yoga, Sherry?
Let's do the teaser.
Teaser. You guys,
I think teaser's always good.
you guys would have seen a share a couple of weeks back, by the time that this is recorded, a little Sherry McCartney special, my yoga journey, a guided journal for your home yoga practice. Fall in love with your perfectly imperfect life. And this is a little masterpiece that's going to be available, or is available, for people to come across, and we'll talk about it more in the season interlude.
It is available, yeah.
Yeah, go find it. There'll be links. Sherry will send you to it, or I will send it to you. Yeah, very fittingly found me on the beginning of my next yoga journey. I love it. Love you, Sherry. We'll talk about that more. So back to perfectly rooting to rise, and imperfectly embracing the messy middle and all things healing. I wonder, I think it's like just sort of normalizing healing, isn't it?
Yes. And I love that you said that, because I think this is something that I realize is coming up more and more and more, that we all need to embrace the fact that we're all unique in our pain, but pain is not unique. And, you know, like, we look at everyone, and I think it always happens too when you see a celebrity overdosing or committing suicide, and everyone's like, but they had everything. You know, like, we're always still shocked. I still do it too, you know, like, when Anthony Bourdain and Kate Spade, I mean, I love Kate Spade. I mean, she's one of the few designers I actually like, you know? And it was crushing to me. And at the same time, I'm like, but again, Sherry, you're letting this outside shining. You're letting their cage delude you. I mean, my payments speak. Right. You know, like, we're constantly falling for this belief that other people have it better. Other people have it figured out. Other people are doing things and are able to do things, and we just can't do it. And yes, of course, there's different levels of acceptance and work and healing, and there's levels to it. But every single person has pain that they need to work through. Every single person has issues. Every single person has told no. And we have to stop looking outside us and going, well, that person has it figured out and I don't, because they don't. No one has it figured out. I go back and listen to our podcast and I go, wow, we're speaking truth there.
Guilty.
I apply that every single day.
Happened just yesterday.
You know, like, even when we'll talk about it in the interview. You know, like, again, we'll talk about more in the interlude, but the yoga journal, I finally just hit publish because I was like, you know what? I've been shooting all over myself. Like I said in the Instagram post, you know, it really was a case of, oh, I should do this, I should do that, I should do this. I'm like, no, you know what? I just want to write something and put it out there, and whoever gets to see it gets to see it. And then, you know, sometimes I think as you get more enlightened, you actually build more blocks, because then I'm like, okay, is this a block? Is this a block where I'm telling myself that I don't want to do a big launch because there's a whole success behind it? You know, and then you start going crazy sometimes because you're like, I don't know, is this a blog? But in the end, I just had to go deep, and I was like, no, I need to publish something now. I'm working on a different book that's getting the whole press thing, that's doing the whole sending it to reviewers and getting on some podcasts, and that's all months ahead. But I need something for now. I need something that, and if no one reads it or 2 people read it, am I okay with that? Yes, I am. Let it go.
But also, Sherry, I needed something for now. And I have a copy now because it's published, because you chose to show up for you, for no one else. And this is actually my new moon intention, is to honor the intimate and celebrate all the connections. We, especially women like ourselves who have chosen the alternative way of making income, can really start to validate ourselves only on figures, stats, numbers. And the reality is you can't choose this work if that's your focus. The focus must be on the connections. The focus must be on what you're getting from your heart and soul and what you're giving to other heart and souls. A beautiful energy exchange. And yes, choices to pay the bills, own it, claim it, love it. Definitely 100% in that. But take that out and don't get fogged by the shoulds. One of my favorite blogs I've ever written is there's no shoulds and there's no justs. Don't get fogged by the shoulds, and instead go, hang on, let's just celebrate these connections. Like if one person, law of attraction, is like, oh my God, I am literally starting my 30-day challenge tomorrow. I have divinely been sent this book. If we just, here we go, if we just let life bring us
the just sent it dedicated to you there.
Did I mention that? Divinely sent and dedicated to Kate from Governments by the Sea. Side note, that's my favorite page in the whole book. Interlude, getting ahead of ourselves. But just this whole idea that now where was I? I got starstruck. But this law of attraction that if one person needs it, another person's going to need it. I remember when I was gifted a beautiful meditation course, and then I just told so many people about it. Like I could rattle off 20 people who then went and did that same meditation course. And it started from one gift, from one heart, divinely guided heart space to another. And there's so much truth in that.
Yes. And I think I love what you said, that's this one gift and rippled out. And I think this is something that we need to remember, that, you know, the one pebble goes deep and then the ripples go out. So yeah, be careful you're not throwing a whole bunch of pebbles and just scattering everything.
Yeah, and it comes back to where are you putting your energy?
The power of the intention. Yes, and I think that's why with the yoga journal, it was okay for me to do it, because I was like, I came in, I checked with my energy, and my energy was actually very off. I was like, nothing's going out. It's all going through this, and there's nothing wrong with everything going through a proper launch channel, you know, with the intention of making money from it. There's nothing wrong with that. But my heart also said, you still need to put out something right now, something that needs to go out today, you know, like something that you can sit down and spend a couple of days just creating, working old content and just putting it out there.
And energy.
And my energy said do it, so that's why I went with it.
And we're going to talk so much about the human design. It's going to happen. Human design chart, guys. Check it out. There's a human design free school, Abundance. Go and check it out. But this is exactly it. Like checking in and being aware of your energy. It comes back to, does it light you up? Does this light you up? Does this bring you joy? Yes, no. So if you're shooting anything, you're not, you're in the story, you're in the negative mind chatter, you're not coming into heart space. And I'm not even going to tell you that you should be in heart space. It really is just our natural state. Breath, natural. Breathing and being, natural. All the other stories, you know, no one actually said it had to be any other way. It's just been lifetimes and of energies, ancestors, people, toxicity, story after story, ugliness, hurt, pain, money, hunger, starvation. Let's bring it back to the true essence of love, kindness, compassion for self, heart space, breath. And yoga really does open up a lot of space for that.
Yeah, and I think this is also something that I'm really glad you brought that up too, because I was reading about that the other day, and it was like this whole healing thing, and you know, like how can you be healing when there's so much hurt in the world and da 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 da? But I think that's the important thing, is how can you not be healing when there's so much hurt in the world? Because if you are healing, you are making choices from the heart. So you're not buying crap that you don't need because it's on sale and encouraging, you know, slave labor in, you know, third world countries, because you don't need it anymore. And you know, when you're feeling bad and you're not in the heart space and you're just like, okay, I need to go out and just shop and buy something. Well, that's that ripple effect of actually you feel like you're powerless, and therefore you're buying into the system that makes you powerless. However, when you're actually stepping back from that and finding out, okay, what do I need? Do I really need this? And now if you need some new clothes, go buy them. But if you're just doing this to feel the hole, you're actually then perpetuating this whole system that makes the hole in the first place. To keep going with capitalism and keep going with, slave labor and child labor and all this other crap in these factories because you feel helpless. So you actually help it happen. And so it's important that you heal and really start with yourself, and that will ripple out, and you'll start making better decisions because you won't need to buy as much plastic because you've got more energy to actually do food prep and bring your bottled water. This is all this important stuff that everyone wants us to make us feel powerless, but we're not. We're so powerful if we step into our power and take care of ourselves, and then that ripple will be huge. But we need to give ourselves credit for how big that ripple can be.
Own it. I don't know if you've read. Have you read Inward by Young Blow? It means young man or young poet. So that it's his what do you call it? What do you call Francis? Pen name. It's his pen name. But this book, yes. It hasn't quite been published. He self-published it. Huge. Last year or the year before, and it's recently been picked up by a publisher, so it'll be a publishing house. It'll be out again, fancy edition. But I actually quoted him on the back of Letters to a Tibetan Monk, and I truly believe this, and I think it sums up exactly what he says. And it's the first sort of little poem he has at the front here. 2 of the great lessons humanity will learn in the 21st century will be: to harm another is to harm oneself. When you heal yourself, you heal the world.
Yes, exactly.
It's true.
And it doesn't have to be. And I think this is also, like, soccer mom. I don't want to be a soccer mom, but no, you get to be a soccer mom and heal.
Yes,
it's okay.
Pages. And oh my God. Keep going, Sherry. Yes, soccer mom. It's okay to be a soccer mom.
No, I want to next page, please.
Reclaiming our power. The next words on the next page are reclaiming our power, healing ourselves, loving ourselves, and knowing ourselves. These phrases are becoming more and more common. Why? Because they are the pathways to our freedom and happiness.
Oh, you need to send me a link to that. I need this book.
Oh, you will read it in 40 minutes. I read this in one bath. I read this. It's amazing. It is medicine for the soul, everybody. You will absolutely love this book. It's amazing. Yes. So I'm glad that paths led to this. Look at us, incidental promoting. Yeah. Because it's all for the greater. And this is why, just just share. The rest will come. If it's meant to be rippled out for the greatest, if the yoga journal is meant to be the big hit for you, beautiful Sherry, it will be. It is.
And if it's not, that's also okay. You know what I mean? I think that I just keep showing up and doing what I love, because in the end, I'm also in a very luxury position in the sense that I know the bills are paid next month. You know what I mean? Right now, that's not to say in a year's time they're not, but right now I'm okay, and I have the ability to make some experiments and see what happens, and therefore I should be taking those instead of beating myself up going, well, most of my money is actually my partner's money, and and it's like and all these stupid stories that come in, which are like very frustrating, because before we had kids, I had my own money, and now after kids, I don't. So we definitely have to do an episode on money and everything else. But at the same time, it's like, but actually, that's just it. It is our, and childcare is so valuable, and I keep putting myself down on it because I keep going, well, there's no dollar attached. You know what I mean? But there's a huge dollar attached. We can do this because I'm willing to say, I can take the children while you do a couple hours on the computer. And I also sacrificed in my hours on the computer to do that, because I'm like, well, we know how much your hours are worth. We don't know how many hours mine are worth. So there's a definite sacrifice there, which of course we need to talk about in a whole different episode. But the point of this is being that I was like, it's so messy. You know,
It's not. It's so real life. This is so real life.
My soul is saying you haven't published in 7 months. My last published book was a Lynn Francis book. It was Blade of Retribution.
But
that was back in September, maybe time. I was putting out like one every 2 months before. So yeah, go on, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, isn't that really interesting though? Like, is that your soul putting that pressure on you, or is that your mind putting pressure on you? Because it probably would have been out sooner if you had just let the soul lead and let that flow be. Yeah.
The soul was telling me just write and put it out there.
Just
but
share.
My mind was putting pressure on, you know what, you can't just share, you know, you need to actually have this whole money you've invested in launches and coaches telling you how to launch books, and you're hacking my soul. I don't even want to finish that book, you know, like, and then finally I'm just like, you know what, in the end, what do I want to do? And I think this is so important for everyone. It's like, what do you want to do? I mean, some people get, and like I said, it's not that I'm not going to walk it. I just realized that it's writing the books that light me up in the way they light me up and putting them out, and that's okay. And maybe those 10 readers recommend it to somebody else. But you know, this whole,
I'm convinced that every creative spirit listener, even before the interlude, is going to go and find the link to Yoga Journal and take a look and love it. Yeah, and it might be the soul-led, in, you know, little push in the right direction for people to commit to a practice for them. And something, a home yoga practice. We will talk so much more about this, guys, but if you are curious, reach out to Sherry or myself. We will help you make sure that this happens. But, you know, just trusting the right people hear it. You deserve, beautiful soul. And other people can reap the benefits of what you have to share with the world right now.
Yeah, exactly. Agreed.
I'm going to have to replay this. Yeah. Listen to our own advice. But sometimes we need the mirror too, and spirit will, this is again being in an awakened state where you can sit opposite someone and go, I already know this, but instead of wounded, oh, I already know this, going, yeah, I need to listen to my own advice. You're right. You know, owning that and being kind to yourself still. That's massive, isn't it?
And this is just it. And you know what? I also did it with the kindness of going with, you know what? If in 6 months to age, which I don't think it was, but let's say it was. Let's say it really was a case of me going, oh, I see a potential for a big launch, and I'm just going to throw something out there that can combust.
Yeah.
I can just relaunch it. It's not a problem to say this book actually deserved all this launch work, and then just do it. You know, and if I really want to, put a different cover on it. You know, like we always act like the next step is the end step, and the only end step is death. You know, there's always time to change, to renew, to do something different, to go, this was a mistake, but I know how to fix it, or this was a mistake, thank you for the lesson, and move on. And I think this is huge, that we get so wrapped up in our everyday, day-to-day life. This is where yoga really comes in, and a daily meditation practice, is that this takes you out of that mind drama. You know, it takes you out of that noise. It takes you out of this swirl of, oh my God, everything I do is so important. Oh my God, what am I gonna do? But no, it's okay. Guess what? The world didn't explode on Saturday when I hit self-publish and without a launch team. You know, like, I'm still alive. I'm still breathing.
No. I've always just been like, oh, cool, it's here. I might tell people where they can buy it. Done. You know, it doesn't. Yeah. It's so good. Yeah, fine.
Exactly. And I think this is the important part, but it's also, like I said, listening to other people, getting online. Okay, how do I launch a book? And it's very difficult sometimes not to get sucked up into it, especially if it's not what you want. I mean,
hands up.
And this is also something
listeners. who have got stuck, like got in their head about something they saw that they should be doing, whether it's parenting, creating,
Exactly.
business, hobby, fitness, clothing, on social media. Yeah, it's toxic energy if you aren't aware of where your energy is going and where your mind comes back to inner place of inner peace, where your mind's going to take you. Which is why that classic memes like unfollow anything that doesn't light you up. It's so true. If you're being triggered, press mute, unfollow. Social media, you are allowed to create a platform that makes you feel good. Like, you don't have to be following ads or crappy advice or lots of the only way to success is this, this, and this, and this. Like, that's what we're here to do. Break out of that cage, Sherry. Yeah. The Sherry cage. She's frozen. I love it. I'm just here rambling.
Exactly. See,
There she
because
is.
sometimes it's like, no, I don't. Okay, because I'm not.
Where were you?
I was talking away, and you're like, and I'm like, whoops. What I was going to say is how insidious that cage can be sometimes, and that sometimes you're like, no, I know I don't want that, but you think, maybe I do want this. Your energy all the time, if you're not constantly checking it, you might get sucked into it without even realizing what was just a curiosity was in fact something that afterwards you're like, no, this isn't what I want. I thought I wanted it, but I don't.
Can I just to quote, and we might end with this, to quote, and we are still talking about the My Yoga Journal journey in an interlude. This is just a teaser, guys. But just to quote a little bit of Sherry from the My Yoga Journey journal, which just by the way, did I mention or did Sherry mention? It's been dedicated to Kate from Gumboots by the Sea. What an honor. Here we go. This is on the little bit about what is cageology. Too often we fall prey to marketing tactics and gimmicks to make us panic and fork over our hard-earned cash for a solution that is not even what we want. Cageology is about honoring your goals as part of your journey, not just the destination, but the entire path, highs and lows, as part of self-discovery. This book is already published and it needs to be published because otherwise you're not walking the cageology talk.
Exactly. And that's what I realized. But again, cages are insidious. It's constantly being thrown up. And sometimes you're like, oh, I didn't even realize that was there. And that's what's so important about these check-ins and going deeper, and also just being accepting and kindness that, wait, whoa, that was there and I didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can end on that. I think we said we're going to be 20 minutes. I think we've been like half an hour, 45.
I've loved it. I feel like there's like 17
fabulous.
episodes in one. Yeah, we're like, we'll just do a quick 20 minutes. Nah, we won't. Why do we even bother trying to put any conditions on this? Have we not learned? How many seasons in? When will we learn? We may never. 4 seasons in, we're still like, Divine Spirit, I thank you. Divine listeners, I thank you. Divine Cherry, I thank you. Oh my goodness. Watch out, world, because I'm just going to say, hold on, everyone, as we all rise collectively, owning our power, owning who we are, and totally rocking this podcast. Wind, rain, no internet. No internet makes it a bit difficult, actually. But we're here, we're showing up, and we love that you, our very loyal listeners, keep showing up too. Thanks for being here. Always comment, let us know how you find our conversations. And yeah. Love you forever, Sherry.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Bye.